Yo, what's up, peoples? Mood 616 coming back with another entry in my top 25 personal MCs of all time. My personal top 25 MCs of all time. And in at number 18, representing the Woo, my favorite out of the group, definitely on the solo tip, the motherfucking genius, the Jizza. Yeah, you can hear the old school Genius in the background. Yeah, from Words from the Genius. This is actually the reissue that was put out in 2006 by Traffic. Yeah, this was representing Cold Chillin'. As you can see, I'm a big, huge Cold Chillin' fan. It was kind of an odd thing because the Genius was never really, he put out this record on Cold Chillin', but he was never really part of the whole Cold Chillin' crew. I always thought this album was super cool. I think it's a little underrated too, especially for the times. 91 put out a shit ton of really good records, and this one definitely flew under the radar, even being distributed by Cold Chillin' Records. You know, it really didn't have anything to do with the label, but I remember a lot of people didn't even know about this album. Everyone thought that Liquid Swords was actually his first record for so many years. A lot of my buddies did, and I pulled out with this. I used to have the original tape actually, and that's why I ended up getting the reissue of it on CD because, well, the original was just expensive and shit. But yeah, but I'm a big fan of this record. I really like this album. I love the 91 sound. It's very different Genius. It's a little more up tempo. Prince Rakeem's production on this, pretty cool, which is the RZA. Yeah, I think he only produced maybe a couple tracks in here. I know a lot of this was done by Easy Mo B, which is actually spelled differently on the CD. That's right, I remember always laughing about that because it's spelled EZ, which is funny. But yeah, Mo B did a lot of the production on this record. Raheem did a couple of the remixes and stuff, bonus tracks that are on here. But it's a fun record. If you're a fan of the Genius and you've never heard this, definitely go back and check it out because, you know, it's a decently cool album. I think it's pretty cool. Who's Your Rhyming Hero is probably my favorite track on here. The last song, Come Do Me, is like got that early 90s kind of dance feel to it. It's pretty funny. Life of a Drug Dealer on here, that's really cool. And then he obviously uses that type of lyricism in his later records too. But yeah, the True Fresh MC, the Genius of Slam, Worse Than the Genius, a lot of good tracks in here, but definitely keep that one out. And then getting on to probably one of the best sophomore albums of all time, Liquid Swords. This case is in rough shape. Classic, what can I say? You know, this album it's just superb from top to bottom. The RZA was at his prime when producing these records. This first wave of Woo albums are just all beyond dope. The one thing about this album that always kind of weirded me out a little bit is Bible on here. I don't know why that song was ever put onto the CD. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an awesome song. I love Kill a Priest. Kill a Priest is dope. But the song had no business really being on here. I mean, the Genius wasn't even on the track. Kill a Priest put it on his first record. So I didn't really see the need for it to be on here. I mean, it is the last track on the album, which is fine, but the other thing about this record that always tripped me out, man, was how the song titles are completely out of order, and some of these song titles aren't even on the album. I always thought that was interesting, but, you know, get back to the album. The song Liquid Swords, I remember first seeing the video, when I first saw the video, and I was just like in love with that track. I thought it was the coolest thing. I love the transition from the verses to the chorus and stuff. It was super cool. Dula, the Iron Mike on here, man, Fortune, like this album is just stacked full of awesomeness. Amazing classic. Everybody knows this record. Getting on to the Genius' third record, Beneath the Surface. This album was definitely a step down from Liquid Swords, but on that note, a step down doesn't mean it's necessarily bad, because Liquid Swords is elevated. It's such a, you know, it's in a league of its own. But this album right here, I think it's underrated. Now, the thing about this album that really annoys me is the fact that there's a lot of skits on this record. Like, I mean, there's an intro and an outro, there's like 4 skits, that's 6 tracks right there, 18 total, so there's really only 12 songs on this album. And it plays short too. It plays short. This is actually one of those records I like to actually play off the iPod because I remove all that, the skits and stuff, the unnecessary skits, and it plays through pretty cool. I've always been a big fan of Breaker Breaker. Love the video, love the track. Crash and Crew is fucking dope. Feel Like an Enemy's dope. Publicity's dope. Mike Trippin', Hip Hop Fury. Like, this album has got tons of really great tracks. Super underrated in my opinion. A lot of people hated on this album when it came out because, oh, it's not Liquid Swords. Well, I'm like, what the fuck is, right? You know, so The Genius, I think it's dope. And then getting on to The Legend of Liquid Sword. Now this album also kind of annoyed me because this album says parental advisory in the corner. This album is fucking edited, and that's the only way you can get it. You can't get this album unedited. Now, if you're gonna swear in your records, or if you're gonna edit your shit after, why not just make the album clean? I mean, I'm fine with no curse on a record, you know, and shit like that. You know, it's totally acceptable. I have lots of albums with no cursing. But having parental advisory song on an edited album just seems like fucking false advertising. I don't know, but I actually really like this album. The editing only takes away on a couple songs, and actually one of the, like, rough cut on here with Prodigal Son and 12 O'Clock and stuff, they curse a lot in the songs, but there's a lot of edits, and that's annoying. I don't really like the track anyway, so I never really listen to it. Knock Knock annoys me. The edits in that song annoys me, but I really like this album. I think it's lyrically is awesome. Fame is fucking brilliant. Just another one of those brilliant Genius tracks. Autobio is dope. Animal Planet's dope. Fam, Legend Liquid Swords, cool, man. Luminal, man, is just fucking dark and dope. Uncut Material. But like I said, you know, the edits in this, if you can get past it, it's fine. This album always reminded me of Sneak Attack by KRS-One. Now, that's another album you can't get a dirty version of. They even say that there's dirty and edited versions. They're the same fucking version. It's like this shit. So, whatever. If you're an upcoming MC and shit, don't edit your shit. Or just don't curse on the fucking record. Seriously. But I really enjoy this record. I think it's dope. And, you know, I always had a lot of good times with this one. Yeah, so that's cool. Then about 3-4 years later, he hooked up with DJ Muggs of Cypress Hill and did the Grandmasters, the first in the Versus series of DJ Muggs' first MC records, all produced by DJ Muggs. This one got a lot of mixed reviews when it came out. I was always super hella pumped for a Genius record, so I think this is really dope. The interesting thing is that there's on the remix album here. Here's the remix album. I actually like some of the remixes better than the original ones, and I like some of the original ones better than the remixes. It almost makes like a perfect record. Sometimes I mismatch. I made a playlist one time. You know, just I kind of made my own version of the record, and it's awesome. But you know, the first record is really good. See, the one song on here that I like the remix better is Queen's Gambit. It's the song where he incorporates all the NFL football teams into a song. Like, you know, he's done songs like that in the past. I like the remix on here a lot better. The beat's grimier, it's dirty, it's fucking awesome. I like it. General Principles on this record, totally awesome. Destruction of a Garbage for one, sick. All in Together Now with the Riz is dope. I think overall it's really good. I don't think it's the best one in the Muggs series. Maybe one time I'll do a video on those because I really enjoy that series. It's excellent. But that's the original. The remix right here, like I said, I like Queen's Gambit a lot better on this one. I think it's Smothered Maid. Maybe the remix on here I don't like. I like way more the original one. Actually, most of the original songs I do, but there's some really good ones. Destruction of a Guard featured Roscos on here. Yeah, that's right. That's different because Juan's on the original one. Roscos does the verse on the remix, which is cool. This actually comes with a bonus DVD, which I've actually never watched. I have just shit tons of CDs with the DVDs in it, but I watch them sometimes. But I don't know. I recommend both of them. Definitely worth having both. And then on to the Genius' latest record, put out a few years now, I think in 08, Pro Tools. This album we waited for a long time. It seemed like a long time. You know, it was 3 years after this one. I thoroughly enjoyed this. A lot of people said that the Genius sounded a little lazy on this record. I don't think so, man. I think it sounded awesome. I really like Cinema on this record. I thought Cinema was really dope. Alphabet's sick, groundbreaking, was dope. 0% Finance, which used almost the same beat as I think it's Legend of Liquid Sword on, yeah, I think it's that track, same beat, pretty much the same beat. Life is a Movie's really dope. You know, I think it's really good. Like I said, you know, I'm a huge Genius fan, maybe a little biased, but you know, if you've heard this record, you don't like it, that's fine. You know, it's totally cool. But Pro Tools, the latest work. I'm not going to show any of the Wu-Tang albums because that just gets ridiculous. There's just way too many of them. But that's all the Genius solo records. I honestly recommend all of them. You know, it's number 18 on my list. Genius. Mood 616 signing off. Thanks for watching and subscribing. I'll be back with the groups in a couple minutes. Peace.